Um, you switched
There we
there.
go.
Perfect. Right, welcome everyone. It's always a pleasure, always exciting every single Wednesday to welcome you all to our weekly mindset growth series with myself and Maher. Maher is a disciplined leader, Maher Awad, as you all and many of you know, a disciplined leader. And you know what? He's accomplished multiple businesses and he still takes time out to help individuals like us to also accomplish. And he himself has been successful as an entrepreneur across multiple sectors, sectors such as distribution, manufacturing, and commercial real estate. What I love is that the diversification of his skill set, because he also actively trades in forex, crypto, and stocks. And my favorite role that he has is he's the co-founder of QBN. On top of that, believe it or not, he speaks multiple languages, enabling him to lead and connect globally. You may or may not know, but beyond business, Maher is also a seventh degree black belt in Shaolin Kung Fu, and that skill in itself is a reflection of his decades of discipline, mastery, and self inner development and in terms of mastering himself first. They say, don't they? You need to master your mind, your body, your soul. Only then the transformation happens. So when Maher talks about mindset and he talks about visualization and affirmation or for peak performance, which is going to be the topic for us today, it's not something he just talks about. He walks the talk. He's not those individuals who just talk the talk. What we love about him, he lives by example and he speaks from a lifetime of intentional growth and leadership. And that's his professional background. However, on top of that, he has intentional love for his family and all of us and the people that are surrounded, because his family are not just his immediate family, they are everybody and anyone that he associates with. And that's what makes Maher Awad a true gem. So thank you, Maher, for taking time out of the phenomenally busy schedule you have every week to help others and have impact.
Thank you so much, Shazia. You actually gave me goosebumps with that introduction. I'm starting to blush here. Thank you so much, Shazia. And to everyone, welcome to this call. Many blessings to everyone. But before I get started, I'm sure most of you guys do know, but some of you guys I see are new to this session. Co-hosting with me is one amazing lady, individual, Shazia Hussain. She and I have really grown. Our relationship has grown over the last few years, and we've learned from each other. She's an amazing. She's an educator. She's an entrepreneur. Very diversified. You guys think I'm diversified. She's very diversified herself. She's an author with over 20 years of global experience. She holds a doctorate in education. What an accomplishment there. She resides in the UK. She studied and implemented multitude of principles throughout her life. And what makes her special is her expertise. She's a master practitioner, deeply passionate about helping others, and that's why she's here today. She has discipline and that's beyond most people. Of really truly, and I've looked into her heart of helping other people. She's an amazing mother, a great friend of mine, and we are so fortunate to have her here as our co-host. If you guys haven't bought her book is Love and Leverage, the Freedom Code, available on Amazon. I bought my copy. I received it a few weeks ago. So congratulations to Shazia. Many sales there and continued success on that. So Shazia, thank you for being on this call and being my co-host. And what an amazing group of people that I have been able to speak to. And, I'm here to help with my experience and my words to enlighten, to encourage, to motivate individuals around the world. And we have people from 11 countries, 12 countries as part of QBN and Qminds. And we continue to grow day after day, week after week. Today's topic is going to be the power of affirmations and visualizations. And this is something that has helped me grow and become the person I am today. I started affirmations and well, my life started with affirmations. I added visualizations um, several years later. But I would have to say the biggest change in my life, spiritually, financially, mentally, in every aspect of my life, resulted from when I began affirmations and visualizations. So when we talk about this topic today, today's topic is very personal to me. It's very dear to me. It's what's helped me become who I am today. So if you believe, okay, let's start off. Shazia, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back to you. I have to do one thing real quick.
And you're absolutely right. As you talk about the topic being visualization and affirmations, I'm going to start off just by sharing a little clip just to set the context, and it's come at a perfect time. So, and the reason being is that we all have, or we all pursue, or we all can have a different analogy idea of what affirmations and visualizations are. So just let me quickly share my screen. Um, and as a reminder, just so you know that what the topic is, visualization, affirmation for peak performance, and we will look at how they enhance your confidence and tools. And also, what is mindset? It was an interesting point that I read the other day where we don't really ask what is mindset, but mindset is how we choose to, well, over the experiences of life, wire our brain. And the wiring of the brain, if you think about the previous sessions we have, are associated with how we have thinking about our self-talk, also thinking about the people we associate with. So I wanted to share a clip. And when I'm not going to give you too much information, it's 1 minute and 26 seconds, but those 1 minute and 26 seconds will lead to a discussion as to what you hear. And it's about how you think you are and what that result can look like. Okay.
Dr. Richard Wiseman did a study. He asked people to perceive their own luck. How lucky do you feel? Then he gave them a challenge. He gave them a newspaper. And he said, I want you to count the amount of images in this newspaper. They sat with the newspaper and they counted all the images, but there was a trick. On the second page of the newspaper, in big print, it said, stop counting. There are 42 images in this newspaper. Almost all of the people who perceived themselves as lucky saw the ad, closed the paper, and gave it back. So there are 42 images. Almost none of the unlucky people did. The unlucky people missed the ad and kept counting, spent a lot of time, and made more mistakes. This means that if you think of yourself as lucky, you literally see more opportunities. If you think of yourself as unlucky, you miss them.
Is it possible to change how you see yourself?
I do believe in a growth mindset. So I do believe that if this is resonating with you and like you're like, I feel unlucky, I might have this victim self-narrative. I do believe it's possible to change your perception of yourself. And that's starting with small moments of heroism. I think that changing your people skills, saying, I don't like people, and saying, I'm going to find a way to like people. Saying, I'm bad at conversation, I'm going to find a way to be good at conversation. To say, I'm an awkward person, no, I'm a recovering awkward person. If we can begin to take those tiny experiments and change them one by one, we begin to have small moments of heroism, and that's how we change our narrative.
So just there, those small moments of heroism, Maher, and how you talk to yourself and the content that we've shared over the last few weeks, and whether we think we are lucky or we're not, impacts how we see things and how we perceive opportunities. So in terms of my perception, it's if you don't believe in yourself, and if you don't believe in what you can do, you're not going to even get to the stage of affirmations and visualization because you've already put the barrier in the way. But when you do, and I still remember when I was told many years ago that, oh, there's nothing that you're going to do in life anymore and it's all come to an end. And I said, no, I will. I had this visualization of where I will be. And those things happened. I used to visualize when I was young that I'm going to live in Dubai one day. I didn't know how. But I did manage in 2012 to 2015 live in Dubai. So I also had other affirmations. I'm going to have a lifestyle which is a bit more freedom, and not be in the rat race. And that has happened as well. And there's so many other examples. But at the time, did not really understand the power of visualization or affirmation, which Maher and we're going to go through today. But it all starts with yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one can. So Maher, I'm going to hand it back, because sometimes we have that intrinsic understanding, but we don't connect it to a strategy or a technique. This is what was with me, but it truly has impact on oneself.
Visualizations and affirmations, they don't fail because they don't work. They fail because people use them without self-belief. And that, that's what that video was about. And if you listen and listen to books or read books about mindset, you'll hear this over and over and over again, is without belief, without true belief in yourself and in what you're saying, then that's when visualizations and affirmations fail. Okay, and that's what we're here today, Shazia. We're here today to give some of these individuals the tools to fix that. And so it all starts with confidence. And for me, a few sessions back, we had that discussion about mastering your inner
Dr.
voice.
Richard.
So mastering your inner voice was a big part of learning how to believe in my affirmations and visualizations. What I'd like to say is, if you believe that what you will say will happen, you will get whatever you're going to say. Okay? If you say, and this is the thing, visualizations and affirmations, we talk to ourselves throughout the day, or we answer people's questions. For example, that didn't work for me, or you just spoke that into existence. Okay? It's not going to work for you because you just spoke it. Well, I'm so dumb. When you fail at something, you just spoke that into existence. Okay? Think about what you say. Most people don't even listen to what they're saying throughout the day. So today I have a homework for you guys. I want everybody throughout the day, be very careful and be very aware of the words you're saying. Okay? And so I'm going to let a couple people into the room.
I've got them in.
You got them? Okay, fantastic. I do my visualizations and affirmations every morning. And I want to know from everybody here in the audience, and you don't have to reply or you can put it in the chat. I want to know how many of you guys actually practice affirmations only, or practice affirmations and visualizations together on a regular basis. And what I mean regular basis, I mean every single day. I'd like to know, put it in the chat. This is open to everybody. If you guys have questions or want to talk over a certain part of this topic, then feel free to ask. We'll be reading these comments throughout the session. So what I do every morning is I have a routine. I get up in my morning, I do my prayer, and then after my prayer, I sit in silence. And so this is really important, is to not to be distracted with TVs or phones. I leave my phone in another room. Basically, it's just myself in the room and really focusing on my breathing, on my energy. And when I'm ready, I start with my visualization. So I start visualizing what I want to become, and then I say it with my words. Okay? So visualizing what I want to become, and then I say it with my words. For example, and these are things that are going to have to take practice. And something that I learned at the very beginning is I don't say things like, I want to be a millionaire. These words, these are affirmations for me personally, that will probably end up failing. I say affirmations like, I'm leading a successful company. I'm the leader that's going to create wealth in my life. These are the type of affirmations that I say. So be strategic on the words that you say. Don't just say them. And when you say them, believe them and repeat them every single morning. Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So what you're thinking, it becomes reality. And you guys heard that I do martial arts, and I follow Lao Tzu. You guys have heard of him. He had something very, very powerful, and I'd like to repeat it here today. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Okay? So starts with thoughts, and thoughts are words. So the thoughts are the visualizations, the words are the affirmations. Okay? Shazia, I'm going to hand it back to you.
And you're absolutely right. And in terms of writing down, they say reframe. You know how the growth mindset and positive affirmations are about not being very broad, but being specific. That's why we say write SMART goals, be very, very specific. So you do need to intentionally sit down and write it, because you do need to rehearse. And it's funny how me and Maher don't plan. We don't come on these calls where we had a rehearsal of who's going to say what and what am I going to share and that kind of thing. But they always seem to align. So Maher talked about his routine, how he's going to say his prayer, and then he's going to go through his affirmations and some of the techniques you've said, about breathing. You've got to, when you're talking about affirmations, you must believe to work, evidence them through the language, and really rehearse them. So, when affirmations, when pressure rises, then I'm going to slow down. When I am struggling with time, I'm not going to stress myself. I'm going to move away and go and do something else. It's really about that. So you've got to have the posture, you've got to have the belief. But even when you were talking about visualization, the breathing and the focus has to be there as well. And you do need to have the posture. This is a question for you, Maher, on this one. I used to go to a lot of personal development workshops. Obviously, we've invested in ourselves. And they used to talk about dream boards and visualization boards and how important and powerful they are to help you visualize. And if you put it up on display and look at it all the time, this was just a random example, just because it's lovely and colorful. It's not specific. But what do you have to say on that? Did you think that is a strategy that might help some people? Because some of us are very good at visualizing and believing in what we see by closing our eyes, connecting it to meditation and breathing. But others may feel that they need to be a bit more kinesthetic, where they have to actually find that car, cut up the picture, paste it, stick it on the wall, find that fit body that they want at the gym, cut it up, stick it on the wall, because that's what's going to motivate them every morning when they wake up and think, Shabazz is going to say, yeah, that's me. I need to get to the gym. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, off I go. So how would you share your experiences in those techniques and strategies, Maher?
So what works for me doesn't work for everyone, and you're absolutely right. We're all programmed differently. Okay. So what's going to achieve my success is going to be different than how you're going to achieve your success. So absolutely. And we're all completely different individuals and humans, and some are more visual, some are more audio, some need to be, see the visual goals, actually see them and not visualize them. So it's a working step. Okay, it's a step process that you build to, and basically there's so much information, online now. We have AI, and so I think what I recommend to most people is do your research on the type of person and personality you are and how you want to achieve those goals, and find strategic ways to accomplish those. For me, and usually for most people in my family, what you just mentioned, Shazia, is by closing your eyes, you can actually create those images. You don't actually have to find a newspaper or cut them or an article. Closing your eyes and learning. And I think it all starts with baby steps. Find your inner peace, find your moment of clarity, again, with no one around you, and then start working. And don't make it too big. Don't go on for 30 minutes. Start with baby steps, just like anything, just like exercise, just like anything you do in your life. Take it with baby steps, and create a foundation. And the main thing is to create a routine. So for me, my routine was just At the very beginning, it was just 2 or 3 minutes at the very beginning. Now I sit there for 10 minutes, and you build it over time. You start building this over time, and create achievable goals. We talk about writing your goals or writing achievable goals. What can you really spare in the morning? I mean, everybody's in a hurry in the morning. Everybody has kids or family or work, and take a moment for yourself, and you'll see how your life will change over time. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen with time. And just like it did for me, I want to share a screen with you guys about, let's see here, get to my, here we go. All right. So this is the foundation. All right. We talk about having peak performance. By having peak performance, you have to have consistency in your life. Then you got the visualization, which is the strategic programming, and the affirmation aligned with belief. Okay. It's really important. And this all creates self-confidence, identity, and inner certainty in your life. Okay. Powerful mental tools work when your belief system is aligned. We said that at the very beginning. You have to believe what you're saying. It's extremely, extremely important what you're saying. And I'm going to go on to the next screen here. Oh, was that the same one?
Screen share stopped. And while you're sharing your screen, Maher, I can add that these models, the visual models, help you to remember those baby steps and building those baby steps into discipline every day.
Yes, absolutely. So practical exercise, the if-then visualization. So building the resilience by visualizing how you handle challenges. Here's a little example. Identify a high-stress scenario. Visualize a challenge arise, and then visualize your confident response. If then. So this builds resilience, not just fake perfection into. So there are many types of exercises, whether it's a goal or a challenge you want to overcome. Dissect it. Okay, identify what your goal is, or identify what your problem is. Identify what your idea is if you have a business idea. Step 2, visualize a challenge arise. So what are some obstacles are you going to arise, or what are you going to give back to achieve those goals? Okay, because it's life is a give and take relationship. It's not just give me, right, Shazia? It's a give and take relationship. Right. So in order to receive something, you have to give something back. What are you going to give? Are you going to give your time? You're going to give your effort? Are you going to dedicate a certain amount of time? And so this is where people misinterpret visualizations and affirmations. They think just by saying it, it's going to happen. No, you're going to have to do your work, right, Dr. K? You're going to have to do your work. You're going to have to, you're going to have to give back something. And so that all ties in together.
Maher, on that, no, it's an exercise that everybody could do. Think of a situation where you got really wound up. I can give an example. I was training a bunch of teachers earlier today, and I know there's this one particular individual who will always, but she doesn't want to be there. She's only there because she's been told to be there, and it's connected to her job description and salary, so she's there. But every single session, she has to find a point to make it difficult. And what happens when someone tries to make it difficult? You can either react or you can pause and think to respond intentionally to sort of frame that scenario. So the situation was, again, because the challenge for her is her planning. And we all know if you don't plan, you plan to fail. So you can hold planning in your head, but the thought process, and it's a policy of the organization she's part of. So she was going off into the toxic negative. And I knew that now everybody else is going to suddenly absorb that energy and move into that direction. And if I don't flip it back, I'm going to lose everybody. And online, it's harder. So my question came back to the organization. So I always give my example because I think that's less threatening for everybody than anyone else. So I said, what happened to me several years ago? I was working in an organization and they had these policies that were as such, and we didn't align. So I had to make a decision, because what you're not changing, you are choosing. So for me, if you are not happy where you are, then you need to find another option. And if you choose not to find another option, then you don't really have the right to continue being negative about it, because what you're not changing, you are choosing. So I'm going to hand you back, because that was the way I managed that. And I think after that, she suddenly changed her whole body language changed. She said, no, I didn't mean that. Because in a way, without being direct, I was saying maybe you're in the wrong school. And perhaps that's the problem, because I know for the last 4 years, that's the continuous thing that I hear whenever I'm training them. And she didn't want that. So it suddenly came back to normal, and she just re-engaged into the session. But Maher, it wasn't something I would be able to do many years ago. I would have, in the past, I think that would have wound me up. It would have shown in my body language, and I may have retaliated and reacted, and it would have caused the whole session to shut down in not a nice way.
That's a great what you said. 10 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to do that. And now you have. And it's, you know how when you did an amazing this past year, you had a goal of losing your weight, remember? And you did such an amazing job. You look amazing, by the way. Um, you're not gonna see the difference overnight. But those people that haven't seen you in a while, they're gonna go, "Whoa, what just happened there?" And so, same with this topic. Okay, you might not see the results happen overnight or in a week or in a month, but over time, you will see your life change and moving in that direction. Earlier I made a comment about types of affirmations. And here's one that we were talking about a millionaire, the mechanics of wishful thinking versus strategic programming. So your affirmations should not be just wishful thinking. For example, I'm a millionaire. Without belief, this is just a daydream, and your subconscious and your brain's just going to reject that. So the strategic way to program your mind is aligned identity. So I want to become financially wise and managing money well. This is a grounded process. So the brain creates neural pathways for this action. Okay. And it's going to take practice. It doesn't happen overnight. You're going to get better and better with time. So create realistic affirmations and visualizations and repeat them every morning. I attract good things. I'm a magnet for abundance and success. These are a few things that I heard the other day. I think I was on social media. I attract love and joy in my life. Okay, my grateful heart opens the doors to infinite blessings. It doesn't have to be about money. It could be about love. It could be about success. It could be ascending to new levels. I ascend to new levels of wealth and prosperity. I'm confident in my ability to achieve my goals. So make your affirmations and visualizations more than just two words like I'm this, I'm that. Create a small sentence about those affirmations. Okay, again, it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to think about it, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to reprogram, for those of you that are doing visualization affirmations, to help you reprogram a more effective way to use them. And for those of you that are not, believe me, I highly encourage you. You should start ASAP, and you will not regret it.
I can see a lot in the chat. I am writing 10 affirmations daily. I try to be regular. I'm feeling encouraged to do this every day. I say every morning, I'm going to get it done by the grace of God. I practice both affirmations and visualization. This is a great motivation to get me to get back to it. And we have more than 7,000 thoughts every day, and we aren't conscious of them. You're right. And if we believe in ourselves, we can achieve whatever we set our goals to. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I have a crazy day every day, but I speak to myself, and I don't say I actually call myself with my name. I say, Shazia, you can do this, and I plan my day to the T, where I know what I'm doing at what time, which call is happening where the gaps are. And I think if anybody came into my life for one day, and a lot of people say this to me, how do you do it all? You're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this, and it gets done. because what we present is what you see. At the back end, we do go through lots of ups and downs, through emotions, through, lots of, some, I guess, on the call even see that it's like 10 o'clock at night. And I know many of you, we're still carrying on. But why? Because I love what I do. I enjoy it. It has impact, but the planning is also there. If I tell you now I'm doing the NLP practitioner, leading to the master practitioner, I'm also doing the EQA, which is external quality assurance qualification. I'm also doing one-to-one training with Krishak. I'm also doing these webinars Monday evening, Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, on top of the businesses I do and QBN. How? This is not to impress anyone, to express that anything is possible if we make it happen. We just need to decide. And that comes through the visualization of where I want to be. I rather do and be uncomfortable now to be comfortable 2 to 3 years later. And second, it's visualization. I see it. I can see the future. And that's what gets me up. And I visualize as well as the self-talk. So my affirmations, Maher, are connected to self-talk. So remember we talked about self-talk and what we say to ourselves. So when I have those wobbly moments, I say to myself, no, that's not you. You can't. That thought has to go out, and I have to reframe it and retell myself. And then the energy comes back. So again, like you always say, Maher, there's no formula for success that we can share, but everybody's got to find a way that works for them. Do you agree, Maher, that if you decide it's day one today and you start doing something today and you do it every single day, the change will inevitably be there?
The change will be there. And here's the thing, Shazia. Last week, if you guys were on the call, we said about more than 80% of New Year's resolution are not accomplished by the end of the month. Okay. So be that top 10%, 20% of people that follow through with what you're going to say today. Okay. Be the difference. Let's make this group the 80% that's going to do it or higher, that's going to continue making a change in your life, making a change in your family's life. Because a lot of us, we have to find the reason why we want to continue or have success in our life. It's not just about us, it's about our kids or our family, our parents. So make that change today. Visualization prepares the mind. Affirmation directs the focus, okay? And then confidence provides the fuel. I'm going to say that again.
Yeah.
Visualization prepares the mind. Affirmation directs the focus. And then the confidence, the belief in your heart provides the fuel to accomplish those goals. Okay. And that's what this call was about today. It was about preparing your mind, directing your focus, and giving you the fuel to start affirmation and visualizations if you're not, or to change them up to make them even more powerful if you are. And that's basically what I have to say about today's session. I repeat what I said at the beginning of this session. It has been a life-changing topic for me, but it started with mastering my inner voice, like we had 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like you just said, Shazia, you talk to yourself. I talk to myself as well. Sometimes I talk out loud and people look around. It's like, you're talking to me. I was like, no, I'm talking to myself. Because I master my inner voice. I tell my inner voice what I'm going to do and what's going to happen. It doesn't tell me. And so
you gift yourself, Maher, as well, to when you've achieved those goals that you assign, when you've achieved something, because I know sometimes we can fall into this guilt trap of maybe purchasing something. And I know you love cars because I had a ride with you in one, and I know, but doesn't it give you a good feeling when you've achieved your business goals and you've got to where you want to get to through the techniques that you've used through visualization, affirmation, and mastering your self-talk and auditing your circle and making sure you're around the right people. And then you think, right, I deserve something. And doesn't that fuel you to then notch yourself up to the next?
Absolutely. I want to achieve more in my life, not because I want or need more wealth. I mean, what am I going to do with that wealth? And so that my goals have started to change. I wanted wealth to live in a nice house and to drive a nice car. I've achieved that. What's my next step? I'm not going to stop and just go on vacation. I wouldn't be here with you guys. I love all you guys. I love this group, this session. I love talking, making a change in people's lives. And I know several people have reached out to me before. It's like, man, I love these calls. I've stepped out of my comfort zone. I have a new circle of friends. I'm starting to master my inner mind. So all the sessions and topics we're talking about week after week, Shazia, people are coming back and messaging me. It's like, wow, that was such a powerful session. I really needed that today. That's my goal. Okay. And I'm here achieving my goal because my goal now is to help make a change and a difference in other people's lives, not just my own. Okay. Yes, I continue achieving for continued improvement, continued, mindset. May the Lord give me the right words to say that will change one person's life. It's not about the quantity of people. We could have 100 people on this call, and if nobody benefited, then it was worthless. But if we have 5 people on this call and one person benefited, then I have a sense of, gratitude in my life that I've made a change and a difference in one person's life. And so that's what these calls are about. I hope you guys continue to join us week after week. I hope you guys encourage your friends and family to join, because this is for everybody. This is not just for QBN or Qminds or my friends or Shazia's friends. This is for everyone. Whether we know you or not, share the link. We're sharing the links. I'm sending them out through WhatsApp. It's a lot easier. But come join us. Come be successful with us, not just financially, but mentally, spiritually, in all sense of the word of success. And Shazia, do you have any final words?
All I was going to say is the following on topic from today, having discussed, I think some people will probably be talking about rewiring your mindset. And so I was going to ask you, do you reckon that everybody would love rewire your mindset for wealth? Or the other one is master emotional control under pressure. They both lead on nicely because they both link to what we've talked about in terms of mastering self-talk and visualization, also affirmation of where you want to be. But then rewiring your mindset for wealth, because that also connects nicely. The other is many of us do sometimes feel the emotional pressure. And how do you manage that?
Both are great topics, and we'll consider them. If you guys have my number, shoot me a text on what you guys think the next topic should be.
And you can put in the text in the chat as well now. Rewire your mindset for wealth or master emotional control under pressure. If you feel any of those aligned with you, chuck them into the chat and send text messages, whatever.
Or if you have something else, then definitely put in the chat. We're here for you guys. And Shazia said at the beginning, her and I, we don't plan for this. This is not scripted. This is not scripted at all. I don't even call her or ask her what we're going to talk about. We just hand it back and forth. We feed off each other, and it's great chemistry between her and I. And we continue to get better and better week after week. And we continue to grow. I mean, we have almost 40 people on this call, where we started off with about just a dozen. So we'll pick one of those 2 topics. We'll see you guys next week. I'm going to go ahead and send you guys off to your day or night, depending on what part of the world you're at.
I think it's going to be master your mindset for wealth, Maher, just so that you're mentally there as well.
I mean, that's a great one. Okay, so we'll stick with that one. That's going to be the one. Master your mindset for wealth. That's going to be next week's topic. We hope that you guys can join us. We hope that you can bring more friends and family members, spread the word. We want this to continue to grow. We want to make a change in people's lives. Many blessings to everyone on this call. Thank you for being here from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys all. All right.
Thank you all. Take care.